See that? Free breathing. Nothing better. Ha ha! Connectors, what's up? DK here. Hope you're having a great day. Hey, I'm back. I was really sick. I had the flu and all this other stuff, and for a while there I was down and out. But I'm back and badder than ever. So I want to talk a little bit about community and jazz. Now you're probably saying to yourself, DK, what in the world does community and jazz have anything to do with one another? And don't worry, I'm going to explain it to you. Full disclosure, if you don't know by now, I play the trumpet. Been playing since 4th grade. Don't play as much as I used to, but big jazz fan. And so, yeah, I kind of think of music and community a lot. So this is, yeah, here we go. Okay, first things first, let's talk about community. Community is made up of a whole bunch of different things, whether it's .com, .org, .edu, .gov. We have a whole mix and mash of things, and sometimes they work together, sometimes they never see each other, and sometimes they need a little bit more connectivity, and that's where the jazz connection comes in. The great Wynton Marsalis once said about jazz is a communication between different groups, and the number one thing about jazz is listening to what's going on in and around you. You have to know when to play, when not to play, when to play loud, when to get down, have somebody else solo. And in communities, we have the same struggle. We need to hear what's happening. We need to see and experience things that are happening in and around us. A community is not at all something that you can do in a bubble. If you are stuck in your one little area, focused on your business, or hoping that just your business itself can thrive and strive, that is not community, and that is not the best way to build community. So in jazz, there's a basic idea that you have an overarching theme, and that's the piece, the time signature, the key you're in, those sort of general understandings that all the musicians get. But then, throughout the piece, individual musicians get up and improv. They make up on the fly something that speaks to them relative to the music. And that improvisation requires others not just to back away and just let that person go. It requires everybody to listen, to hear what's happening, and to play off of that. There's a melody and a counter melody. There's harmonies. There's the drum section, the rhythm section. It's got to do certain fills within the piece. And everybody has to listen to one another. And then that person will slow down, stop, fade out, and another will get up and perform and improv his or her piece. So there's a lot of listening that goes on, and that's a big deal. It's also a big deal in community. Communities need to hear from one another. They need to know what's going on in different parts of the community, different parts of the sector. Things that are happening in the arts district are just as important as things from the environmental folks, just as important about education that has to do with public policy. Everybody needs to hear what's going on. And then most importantly, all the different groups, the different associations and nonprofits and small business and education institutions, they also need to hear from what the general public is looking for, the pulse. So if you think of it in terms of jazz, think of the larger community as the drum section, the rhythm section. That's the pulse, the backbeat of the music, and that everybody else is putting in their pieces relative to this common beat, and that overarching feel is what makes the piece happen. Here's another piece about community and jazz that I find so interesting. Both community and jazz, mistakes are often made within the work, and that's okay. In fact, a lot of times in jazz, you're sort of manipulating your instrument, you're sort of figuring out music, and you might have an idea of a lick you want to play or sort of some notes and some chords, obviously, but you're making that up as you go along. It's sort of live without a net, and a lot of things in community are built that same way. Things pop up and things happen, and you have to be prepared for that. And so the great jazz musicians are the ones that understand that a lot of things that are about to happen are not planned. They're unknown. But that's also the magic of it. And community is the same way. We need to be understanding and responsive to things that are happening in our community. But realize that those things, those little cute mistakes sometimes, interesting little quirky things that pop up, that's what makes songs so brilliant. And that's what makes it memorable. Same thing happens in communities. Those amazing little things, those interesting quirks, is the difference between a community and your community. So at the end of the day here, what are we talking about? Well, take you, your talent, your instrument, you, the instrument. Take it out and find some collaborators. Find some people who you can actually do some music with. Get them together in a room. Find a unique thing that you can do. I talked about in a video a few weeks ago, this idea of collaboration is an idea that doesn't exist until everybody gets in a room and something new is created. That's the true definition of collaboration. Jazz is the perfect thing for that, and therefore community is exactly that. Get your community leaders in the room. Think of something that the pulse of your community, the public, is thinking about, interested in, or something that you think they would be interested in, but they have not thought of yet. Bring people in the room, and then you start making that beautiful music. And each of you are going to bring an amazing talent. One group is a horn section, one group is your woodwinds, one group is the rhythm section. You bring all these amazing talents together, and before you know it, you have yourself a hell of a band. Last thing I'll say about jazz. Jazz, as we know, is kind of an acquired taste. Not every single person likes jazz. In fact, more people probably don't like it. It's just not that popular anymore. But there was a time it was. So I guess my point on saying this is a lot of community development is not designed for the least common denominator. It's not designed so that you do a project because every single person in the community is going to love it. Some people might and some people might not. But the idea is to do, to create, to put something out there and let the public see it and experience it and know it. And very much like any kind of music, maybe the first few times you hear something, you're not really into it or you don't really get it. And then you hear it a few more times and then you pick out some interesting parts of it that you might dig. Before you know it, you might actually like it. So don't sweat when you get pushback or you get criticism for ideas and collaborations and concepts that you're putting out on the table. If it doesn't start right away, if it doesn't build, it'll build slowly, build its own momentum. And believe you me, there is a time when someone may turn and go, that's pretty good music. But it takes the craft of building the music. So take your time. Put your musicians together. Do a little rehearsal. And before you know it, you're building community. And you're doing it while connecting. So guys, I'm going to end it right there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again. I appreciate it. Man, it's just good to be back among the living, walking around and breathing and not coughing up a lung. So I appreciate you taking time and hanging out with me. If you have any questions for me or for Connect the Dots Movement, please check us out on our website right here, connectthedotsmovement.org. And all of our videos are up on that as well. So you can go into our backlog, our amazing groups of video commentary and whatnot. All that's there, so you can go check that out. And if you got a question for me, you can email me. I'm at doug@connectthedotsmovement.org. And most importantly, if you don't mind on social media, please visit us at Facebook at facebook.com/connectthedotsmovement. And also on Twitter, you can follow us. It's at WeConnectDots. Okay, non-profiteers, thanks so much for hanging out with me. My name is DK. I'm with Connect the Dots Movement, and you have just been connected. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for the well wishes, everybody. I appreciate it. Nonprofit power.